On November 10th, 2024, Amtrak would end one era and start another. We are on hand for the final Superliner-equipped Capitol Limited, which we will be riding from Toledo, Ohio to Chicago, Illinois today. This would be the second to last Capitol Limited ever and the last one equipped with Superliners. Later in the evening, we would be on the very first Floridian, a new train running on existing routes from Chicago to Miami. For power on the final Superliner Capitol Limited, we would have ALC 42 number 343. Our consist this morning would include a Viewliner baggage, transition sleeper, Superliner sleeper, cross-country cafe, and 2 coaches. As the rain slowly came down, we would take one final look at Superliners in Toledo Union Station before getting on board. We were running right on time, so it's about 5:20 a.m. and the Superliner coach is still in night mode. This includes softer blue lighting and quiet time. Right on time, we would depart from Toledo Union Station, one of the last Union stations built before Amtrak was created. As the daylight started to break, the gloominess became apparent. From the rear of our coach, we would watch as the state of Indiana rolled by. At Elkhart, Indiana, we would arrive at a classic New York Central built depot. While stopped in Elkhart, we can take a look at the New York Central Railroad Museum. Hiding behind some other equipment was New York Central Mohawk number 3001. During the fall of 2024, it was announced that the 3001 would be returned to steam for excursion service. Right on time, our train would highball Elkhart while meeting an eastbound Norfolk Southern tank train. This section of the road is triple tracked near Elkhart. Elkhart is also home to a massive classification yard operated by Norfolk Southern, which we will see as we head west towards Chicago. The Capitol Limited has been a Superliner equipped train since the mid 1990s. Superliners are great cars to ride in, even in coach. They have plenty of legroom, a decently large tray table, and even leg rest, which make resting in these coaches much more comfortable. As you can see in this demonstration, I have plenty of legroom as an average height adult. I also have good use of the tray, which slides back to meet you at your chest. Superliner seats also include a footrest which can be deployed with the pedal. This is good for daytime lounging. Beneath your legs is a leg rest which helps when you're trying to rest at night. Sleeping in coach class isn't always good, but these features make it much more bearable. As we approach South Bend, we would pick up a load of Bears fans that are inbound for a Bears home game. Few of these fans likely realize that they will be riding the last Capitol Limited and likely the first Floridian later in the evening.
Attention. Passengers, that station stop was South Bend, Indiana. The next day is 5.
One often overlooked aspect of the change from the Capitol Limited to the Floridian would be the return of traditional dining on the route. Since 2019, the Capitol Limited had been operating with a cross-country cafe service. This was essentially just a traditional cafe in a Superliner. Porter Junction was our next point of interest, a location where the Amtrak Michigan line enters the Norfolk Southern Chicago line. Shortly after this, we would spot the Lehigh Valley Heritage Unit at the Burns Harbor Yard. After passing Guaranteed Rate Field, we would clear 21st Street and enter Chicago's Amtrak Yard. We would pass numerous pieces of Amtrak equipment and bring the Capitol Limited into Chicago Union Station with Superliners for the last time. As we came to a stop near the bumping post, it would be the end of an era for the Capitol Limited and Superliners running east. We would take one last look at Train 29, the last Superliner Capitol Limited. Heading out to Roosevelt Road, we would watch as the train heads for the yard in about 30 minutes. After emptying out the train, 29 backs out of Union Station and heads to the yard for the last time. Shortly after the Capitol Limited went into the yard, the inbound Lakeshore Limited arrived to Chicago Union Station, running slightly late. The Lakeshore Limited runs with single-level equipment, which gives us a look for how the Floridian will look later tonight. After a fine Sunday in Chicago, we are back in Chicago Union Station for the very first departure of the Floridian. The eastbound Floridian would have the train number of 41. This is due to Amtrak considering this a southbound train now. The train will run south as train 41 and run north as train 40. There was some fanfare by Amtrak, with flamingo balloons placed throughout the terminal and the first trip passengers receiving an Amtrak reusable tote bag as a gift. As departure time approached, we took a look at the departure board showing the first train 41, which would depart right on time at 6:40 p.m. After lining up, we were welcomed onto the train. Walking down, we were greeted with balloons and a set of viewliners, starting with the baggage car. We would be in coach this evening, so we would have to walk all the way to the head end of the train. Our consist today would be a pair of ALC 42 locomotives, 4 Amfleet 2 coaches, an Amfleet 2 cafe, a Viewliner 2 diner, a Viewliner 1, a Viewliner 2, and a Viewliner 2 baggage car.
the Floridian to Miami, Florida, is now welcoming all customers aboard. If you are not at the queue line, please go directly to the closest platform at this time. Doors will close 5 minutes prior to post departure time. Amtrak welcomes you aboard Train 41, the Floridian to Miami, Florida.
Arriving at our coach, we would take a quick look around before settling in for a nap. Since it was dark, the sights were limited out of the windows tonight. The Amfleet 2s that operate in the coach section of this run have similar space and amenities as the Superliners that we rode in this morning. After an uneventful ride back to Toledo, we would pull in right on time just before midnight, making this the first time that the Floridian would arrive into Toledo. Leading the first southbound Floridian would be ALC 42 number 338. We would view the train under a full moon before the departure from Toledo. This would end our day, ushering in a new era for Amtrak under the Chicago to Miami Floridian.